y'all. So I just got to our campsite at Crow Valley, and the last 5 minutes were treacherous. But I looked at the weather, and there's a tornado watch that wasn't there before. So I don't know if I should stay or if I should go. I guess you gotta stay tuned to find out. Well, that's not how I'd planned to start this video for Crow Valley Campground. I checked the weather a little, checked into it a little bit more, looked at the map, the radar, and all of that good stuff. And where I'm at is the lowest possible probability of a tornado. The probability of high wind is much more likely. But even that is a 2. But also, the drive in, the last 5 minutes of the drive, getting to just right outside the park was treacherous. It was horrible. It felt like that drive from Taos again, where I wasn't sure that I had control of the van. So I don't necessarily want to go through that again. But if you look at the wind, it's not that high. So it really doesn't make sense why that part of the drive was as horrible as it was. So I think what I'm going to do, I may go out and see if I can talk to the camp host and see what he thinks, because he lives here. But I think what I'm going to do, just because the threat level is the lowest possible level there is, nobody seems to be worried about it at all. There are people that have just set up tents and things like that. So I may be the only person that's watching things as much as I am. I'm looking at the clouds right now, and yeah, it's just that tornadoes are so unpredictable, and so I'm not a fan. It's one of the reasons why I don't voluntarily I'm gonna go camping in Oklahoma. Sorry, Oklahoma. It's just that whenever I think of tornadoes, I think of you in Missouri. So I think I'm gonna go find the camp host and see what he says. Yeah. Definitely a pit toilet, but check that out. You can tell the camp host does a really great job of taking care of the site. I'm not gonna lie, if I had known, I would have driven out in the morning, because by then the tornado watch would have been long gone. But it wasn't there. It wasn't there when I checked the weather a few days ago. It wasn't there when I checked it yesterday or this morning. So I guess this is something that developed while I was working. But as you can see behind me, the sky, it looks fine. Looks clear. On the other side, it's even more clear. So yeah, gonna chill. Okay, it's getting kind of dark, so I'm gonna do this. I talked to the camp host, and he's not concerned at all. He's paying attention. He said that if there's anything, it would alert on our phones, but he's like, I don't think we're gonna get anything out here. But he did tell me, I thought this was hilarious, he said that if something does touch down, then the best place to go is the bathrooms. I don't think that's gonna help us. but I wouldn't stay if I thought that I was in danger. So I'm gonna go feed this girl, who also would be alerting if there was any kind of danger on the horizon, and she is not. She's just happily walking around and sniffing. But I'm gonna feed her, feed myself, and then just kind of tuck in for the night. Although it's beautiful, I kind of want to sit outside.
Afternoon. Sunday night, mostly clear. Lows in the 50s.
Y'all, I just realized it's 9 o'clock. I'm not eating nothing. I'm not even hungry. I had a pretty good lunch, so I am gonna wind down for the evening, and I'll see you in the morning. Definitely gonna keep watching the weather. It's 9:15, so I got 45 minutes to go on this tornado watch, but the skies are fine, so I'm gonna go wind down. See you tomorrow. Yep, there's definitely mosquitoes out here. One is currently sucking on my shoulder. I can tell that the tornado situation last night dysregulated my system because, yeah, I'm just not about doing very much this morning. I got enough sleep, but I woke up very tired. So we won't be doing any walks or hikes or anything like that. At most, I'll take Kiri on a walk so that she can get a little bit of exploring in. She's currently chewing sticks and grass instead of eating her food, so there's that. So I think for this camp, all that I'm gonna do is rest. I know that sometimes I get to a place and I'm super excited to explore it, and I get out there and I start doing all the things, and that's because I know that I've rested enough during the week and that my body is okay with that. My body is definitely not okay with that today. Possibly because of just how busy this week was. I'm getting ready to, I'm taking things out of storage. I'm getting ready to clear out my storage unit and going through stuff. So that was added energy that I hadn't planned on expending. So yeah, I think this camp is just going to be a restful one. I'm grateful for the mature trees that are nearby. So I'm going to see if I can put my hammock up in one of them. I don't know if I have like my heavy duty hammock straps. I think they're in my car, which is unfortunate. So we'll see if the straps that the hammock came with work. But for now, I should probably find something to eat. And I brought the right type of fuel tank today. So we're gonna try out the backpacker stove so that I know how to use that particular one for a trip I have coming later this year. Oh my goodness, I just opened the back of the van and I saw this and totally forgot that I brought it along to test it to see how it does out here while we're camping. This is the Setpower AJ40. I'm using it as a freezer. It's one of those situations that you use as a freezer or a fridge. I'm using it as a freezer and I'm testing it out because I want to see if I'm able to take it on longer trips and bring along frozen foods and things like that on the road so that I don't have to go to the grocery store as often. I have it plugged into the 12-volt port, and before we left, I literally just put things in it like, I think I have some ice in there, I have some ice cream, a piece of fish, like nothing super crazy. I just want to see how well it does in keeping things frozen because the nomadic fridge in my van does not do a great job of that. Yeah, my ice cream was super soft and gross by the time I got to it, and that ice cream is way too expensive to do that with. So we're going to test that, but we're also going to just set up camp a little bit. doesn't fit that one either. Okay, maybe third time's a charm, because here's one that I just purchased. That one was a tank that I purchased that goes with my old set that I still have, but I just had extra fuel. I've seen, here we go. All right, so if you get one of these backpacking stoves, apparently you have to get this type. This is a Coleman one, so I'm guessing it's generic enough that you can use any kind of topper. So there we go. Who knew? I didn't. I thought I could get away with it, but I guess not. All right. Cool. Now to rinse this out. I hope I don't get a copyright strike for the people next to me. They're very loud music, but I wanted to show you what I had to break out in order for Kiri to settle. I feel like this is becoming a habit, but the price you pay for peace. Okay, bye sausages. R.I.P. to the ones that fell on the floor. There's my breakfast. Okay, so apparently I need one that has the broader top part so that I can use the handle on my pots, because my breakfast just ended up on the table and on the floor. Fun times. So I think I figured out that I need to take this pot set, or one like it, one that kind of collapses or like goes down to be really small. But I also need to find a very small sieve, the colander looking thing, but the wire one, because there's no way I'm taking this French press, but I do like having tea every day. So we're gonna have to figure that out for the road. when I was at Costco a few weeks ago. I don't remember when it was. I saw this hammock for sale. It was on sale. I don't remember how much it was. If I find the receipt, I can tell you. But I'm guessing it was around 20-25 bucks. And I was like, that's not a bad deal. Especially since I couldn't find my old hammock that I've had forever and a day that I think I also got at Costco. But yeah, this one comes with straps and it comes with the carabiners. I went and got like my movie theater. If you've seen an old video where I put the screen up and watch movies in the van, I got those out. But actually this one comes with everything attached and everything that you need. So I don't remember the brand. Cascade Oasis, I think is what it's called. And it like all stuffs right back into the bag. So if you see it, it's a pretty decent buy. So this one was a piece, but I think that I read in the reviews before I came out that there is a shooting range nearby and that sometimes you can hear them. And apparently they have started. So she's now panting again. I guess I'm going to let her go into the van, even though my whole goal with all of this is trying to get her used to being outside. But yeah, the gunshots I get. Still doing well. I realized that if I'm going to eat dinner, which I think might be salmon and rice, I probably need to take the salmon out and let it thaw. So, ooh, I forgot. I also brought fish sticks because, yes, they're good, because I can make fish tacos. So I think I'm going to do that instead. So we're going to leave that in there, but I'm eyeballing that ice cream. I think I'm going to leave it alone for right now, though. That's the camp host. He's over there checking the bathrooms, making sure everything's clean. He does a phenomenal job of keeping this property looking and like just the experience of it just great. Just everything about it has been amazing. Those bathrooms are the cleanest pit toilets I've seen in any campground I've ever been to, and he said that part of the reason for that is that he's put like a mesh over the top of the vents at the top of the building so that flies and bugs can't get in there, and if people keep the doors closed, then everything stays kosher. So props to him. Like, I feel like he's going above and beyond and is the nicest guy. He came by and he was like, we didn't have any tornadoes last night. So I was right. I hope you felt reassured. And I was like, I did. I just needed a second opinion because, you know, tornadoes are unpredictable and I don't love them. So props to him. I wish I remembered what his name is. But if you see this, and I doubt you will, but if you see this, know that you do an amazing job. I did tell him that when I talked to him yesterday, so he knows. What are we doing though? Is this how you camp? Okay. I mean, do you? She just came over here to make sure I didn't just leave and she didn't notice me. So all I saw was like a head right here all of a sudden. I will say that the use of the freezer is draining my battery a little bit quicker. Well, actually, no, it's draining my battery faster than I've ever seen. I've never seen my battery go below, I think it was 75% is the lowest I got. And that was when I was using a bunch of appliances and my AC. So that 124, that 100 to, like, it basically has doubled the consumption of energy from my fridge and that. And so it makes sense because there's now two appliances that are always running, but I feel like there's more of a power draw consistently from the freezer because my fridge will sometimes be on and go straight down to zero. So I think a lot of that is the freezer. Something to be aware of. I'm going to the bathroom, so I let her come in the van. I wish y'all could have seen. I wish I'd captured how quickly she ran in here. She ran into the bug barrier for the door because she was so excited to get in here. I guess I should be happy that the van is her safe spot, but also you're a dog. I'm gonna need you to be outside sometimes. A few weeks ago, someone commented, I think it's Living Simply with Tony. If that's, I'll put the person's handle down here so they can get the correct credit for this comment. But they were talking about how they are, I don't know if impressed was the word, I don't remember what word was used, with the fact that I'm able to do walks and things like that, because where they are in their journey with chronic illness, specifically fatigue, they're not able to do that for fear of getting stuck and being out and not being able to return. I don't know if you can hear how I'm breathing. I didn't walk that far. And one of the key ways that I know that my symptoms are flaring is because my hips hurt and my legs feel super heavy. And that's totally not normal on the days that I've shown you guys where I'm out walking. The short hike that I did at El Dorado Canyon, those days I felt great. I knew that my body was fine. I'd prepared beforehand by getting lots of rest and making sure that I had the energy reserves to do it. I don't know what the deal is with this week, but just that short walk has me winded and my body started to hurt. So I already knew. I was like, immediately turn back around, go lay in the hammock, hang out for a bit. Don't do anything else. I may, at the end of the day, like later today, take Kiri for another walk like that, just so she gets away from the campsite and can enjoy, being out here. But I can't go far. And I definitely can't go fast. I'm pretty sure. Well, I noticed how slowly I was walking compared to how I usually walk. So just an example of, I guess, what it's like to camp with chronic fatigue, long COVID, and other symptoms. I'm going to rest. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to lay in this hammock. I'm going to sway, enjoy this breeze, and just be, because that's all I can do right now. So I just checked my battery consumption and I realized that for whatever reason, actually no, I know the reason. It's because I had the freezer set to max rather than eco. It was staying on always, like all the time, kind of hitting between 45 and 60 watts, and it wouldn't turn off. And so I was like, why is it draining my battery? Granted, my battery is huge, so it was like 50 watts, but I'm at 70 something percent and I have 7 days of power. So keep that in mind. But I noticed that it was running constantly, and I was like, why? Because my fridge turns off when it reaches its max temperature. And then I realized I never put the freezer in eco mode, so I just did that, and I'm gonna check the battery consumption in a little bit. Something to think about if you get one of these fridges or a fridge like it. Okay, and now the whole reason I came to the freezer to begin with, I am gonna have some ice cream straight from the carton, because we're not about using extra dishes right now. So when I have this in my nomadic fridge, the freezer portion of it, you can see here it melted and it was always soft. This is hard. So I'm kind of excited. I think it worked. So let's go test it out. So I have a feeling that I'm not going to eat this, because why does it look like that? JK, I pulled that off and it looks perfect. So yeah, it's actually, I think the freezer's working for me, guys. I'm really glad that the innards of this are fine, because this is like one of my favorite ice creams, but it's not cheap. So, Jenny's, if you want to sponsor your girl, let me know. But brown butter almond brittle, so good. It's my favorite. And I think gooey butter cake is probably my second. But yeah, it's perfect. So I'm going to say that once I put the freezer on eco mode and it stopped draining my battery, it's a win. That's how much I ate, and then I was done. So now I think I need to do dishes, because I didn't do those from this morning. Yeah, so even on eco mode, it's still we're still at 40. Now, granted, that is the fridge and the freezer, so I'm okay with that. For the spray bottle, folks, I still am a fan of soap and water, though, so it is what it is. To each their own, right? And I have to point out that I'm going from least dirty to dirtiest so that my water doesn't get gross. So the last thing I'm going to wash is the pot I made eggs in, because that's probably going to have the most food residue and just grossness on it. Oh, and I did also wipe down the table, not wipe down, but I washed down the table, because we are camping in bear country and they tell you to keep a clean site just because bears have been known to walk through. I mean, we've had bears in our neighborhood, so I'm going to say that it's not impossible, but I think that it's unlikely, just given what I'm seeing. But taking no chances, because we have to be responsible campers. And in case you're wondering where Curie is, she was stressed about something earlier and went into the tent and hasn't come out since. But right now it looks like she's fighting with a fly or something that made its way in there. So, fun times. Okay, so hopefully you can hear me over the neighbors. This is the GSI Outdoors cook set that I got like, geez, I don't know how many years ago. Got it a while ago. It's an upgrade from what I had been using, which is the one that I used on that camping trip in Texas. I got this because I'd planned to get a minivan, but this unfortunately does not work with induction stovetop, so I don't get to use it very often. I really wish it did, because it nests away so nicely. So basically, those are the handles. I believe they're sold separately, so I had to buy those separately. And then you just put the lid on like that. And there you go. All nice and neat and tucked away. So she got her wish. We got a little storm that came through. It was weird. I was sitting outside and all of a sudden you could feel the breeze kind of roll in and you could hear it in the trees. And I turned around and I got some of the roll in of it, but it was really cool to feel that like force of nature come through. Don't want any greater forces of nature. Just that. But yeah, she got her wish, because once that first thunderclap happened, she was gone. And I thought she was going to choke herself trying to get into the van, because she was still tied. She was still leashed. So we're in the van now. I think this storm is going to pass quickly. I just looked at the weather forecast, though, and there's a severe thunderstorm watch for the rest of the afternoon until like 7 or 8. And so pretty sure that we're going to be in here. So I'm going to see if I can get the internet to work long enough for me to maybe watch a movie or something like that. We'll see. Okay, so I settled on YouTube just because I wasn't trying to deal with any of my streaming services, but I want to say that if you are not following the Ethnic Explorer, James, you should give him a watch, because he is traveling across the U.S. in his self-converted Chevy Astro, and I started following him a couple years ago when he just started out, and I'm so excited and so proud of him. He actually made his way to Colorado. He's somewhere here. But yeah, I'm really proud of the fact that he was able to fulfill this dream that he's had of visiting Colorado. Like, that was one of the places he wanted to go, and he wants to go out west. So I hope he gets there, and I'm so excited to watch that journey. So, yeah. This is better than watching a movie. Okay, so I've figured out another way that I want to test the Setpower fridge freezer. I want to try to make ice. So one of the things that the nomadic fridge that I have in the van doesn't do well is make ice. It generally takes about 2 days for it to freeze the water enough for me to get like a good ice cube. Otherwise, it's like, when you're making ice and like the top layer is frozen, but underneath all the water is bubbling up. That's what happens. So the time is around 6:30. I'm going to put the Gigantor cubes, the big ones. I'm going to put this into the freezer, and then we're going to check it in the morning and see if we've got solid ice. I 1000% forgot to film starting the fire. But I started one because there's a huge fire pit, and I don't feel any kind of way about having that. But number two, because I'm going to use it to heat my tortillas, because I'm making fish tacos, and the fish are in the air fryer, and yeah, made sense. I had to rebuild the pyramid because I moved one of the logs and the whole thing collapsed. It's fun times. So, yeah. It's much easier to do when you have the right tools. It's so much easier to do when you have the right tools, but I don't know where they are. I think I took them out of the van when I took out some of my gear. So, there's that. It's really unfortunate because I don't think you guys are going to see it clearly, but Kiri decided that right there is the best place to lay down. I'm not quite sure why. I don't know, because she's gotten close to fire before, so I don't know if it's the fire, but she keeps trying to like go away. If someone would like to explain dogs to me, that'd be great. But yeah, she looks like she's just sitting out there, just looking. Yeah. Good on you, chick. I'm glad you're at peace. Well, friends, we have had our first camping casualty. RIP to my camping chair. It started to rain pretty hard. Harder than it did earlier today. And I was like, oh, okay, this isn't letting up. So I came inside to get this bottle of water that I had that I carry around with me for Kiri. And when I went back outside, my chair was in the fire. So I'll show it to you in the morning. But yeah, I guess I need to get another chair. Good morning. So you can tell that I'm a little dysregulated, a little symptomy. Yeah, because I forgot to do several things last night. I didn't close out the night, didn't do any of that stuff. So we're starting afresh today. So 2 things we're going to do. Number 1, actually 3. I'm going to make tea because it's time for us to start heading out. And I didn't sleep super well last night. So I need to have a little pick-me-up this morning. And then number 2, I'm going to show you the chair that got burnt that I will have to replace. And then number 3, we're going to check on the ice in the Setpower freezer that we're using. One thing that I did notice is that my power consumption has gone way up. I guess it never quite just stops you know, goes down to 0 and then cycles or anything like that. Or maybe I'm not using it correctly. But I'm down to 37%, and I have never seen that number in this van in my life. Part of it is because I'm in a very shaded area. I'm only out here for 2 days, so I didn't feel the need to go park in the sun to let my solar panels do their thing. But yeah, I think the other part is definitely the freezer. My fridge does not take that much power, so something to consider again if you do choose to get a fridge freezer like this one. Yeah, that's definitely going in the trash. RIP. I think I've had that chair for at least like 15, 20 years. Very sad. All right. I did have to put it on max to get it to go back down to 0 because it was at like 17. So definitely wouldn't be making any ice at that temperature. Let's check. Ow, my hand. Oh, that feels promising. Okay, hold on. We have ice. I feel like, yeah, that looks like it's pretty solid. So yeah, for times when I'm going out and definitely when I have sunshine or I'm driving and can recharge my battery, like this is a great option for having things like ice and frozen fruit, fish, that kind of stuff on the road with me. Definitely going to be thinking about keeping this for those longer trips. I think for the shorter ones, probably not worth it just because I don't pack a lot of food for those anyway. But yeah, I'm gonna give it one more try. There's another camp that I have coming up it's like a long weekend. I'm gonna try it then to see if maybe there is, I want to give it another test before I try to take it out anywhere. So yeah, with that said, I think all that I have to do now is take this girl, wherever she is, there she is, take her for a walk and see if she'll go to the bathroom, get her fed, make my tea, and then we will be on the road. Okay, Kiri has been walked. My tea has been made. It's time to hit the road. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate you being here. Another semi-successful van camp. That's what we're going to call it because there were some serious mishaps this time. So until next time, take good care and I'll see you.